Module 3. Rights of the Worker. The OHSA gives workers 3 rights. 1. The right to know about workplace hazards and what to do about them. 2. The right to participate in solving workplace health and safety problems. And 3. The right to refuse work that they believe is unsafe. Now, let's explore each of the rights in more detail. As a supervisor, it's important that you know and understand those 3 worker rights as they connect directly to your duties as a supervisor and those of the employer. Here's how. The right to know means that workers have the right to be informed of workplace hazards and what to do about them. As a supervisor, it's your job to tell the workers about any health or safety hazards and to show them how to work safely. This supports workers' right to know about known or likely hazards in the workplace and how to avoid those dangers and work safely. Additionally, employers must provide information about the hazards in the work they are doing, training on how to do the work in a healthy and safe way, and a competent supervision to stay healthy and safe. Health and safety information can be in the form of product labels, safety data sheets, safe work procedures, or codes of practice. Training can be provided verbally or in writing, be provided by a supervisor, another employee at the workplace, or external providers, or include workplace-specific, delivered by someone in the workplace, online, or it can be provided by outside agencies as long as it meets the needs of the employer and worker for your workplace. Now, let's look at the right to participate. The right to participate means that workers have the right to provide input on the steps taken by the employer to ensure health and safety. As a supervisor, you can support the workers' right to participate in health and safety by encouraging them to get involved. Workers can provide input on what would make the workplace safe by participating as a member of the Health and Safety Committee, being a health and safety representative for the workplace when given the opportunity, reporting any concerns whenever a health and safety matter is encountered that could cause harm to themselves or others, and by making suggestions to the committee or employer on how to make your workplace safer. Additionally, you can also support the workers' right to participate in health and safety by encouraging them to speak up and listening to their concerns, doing what's necessary, often with the employer's help, to control the hazards that they identify, and acknowledging their efforts to make the workplace safer and healthier. Before we move on to the 3rd right of workers, let's understand one of the ways workers can exercise their right to participate through the Joint Health and Safety Committee. A Joint Health and Safety Committee must be set up in workplaces with 20 or more workers according to the OHSA. And in workplaces where there are 50 or more workers, the committee must have at least 4 members. Importantly, the committee must be composed of 1/2 management and at least 1/2 worker representatives. Additionally, worker representatives must be elected or selected by the workers or their union. The role of health and safety committees includes 1. To act as an advisory body. 2. To identify potential and actual hazards and obtain information about them. 3. To recommend corrective actions. 4. To assist in resolving work refusal cases. 5. To participate in investigations, e.g., incidents, work refusals, and workplace inspections. And 6. To be present for health and safety-related testing. The 3rd right of workers in the OHSA is the right to refuse to do work that they have reason to believe is unsafe for them or another worker. As a supervisor, you respect that right by taking every precaution reasonable in the circumstances to protect workers and by complying with the process for work refusals specified in the Act. When a worker comes to tell you that they are refusing to do particular work because it is likely to endanger themselves, you must look into the worker's concerns and do everything you can to help the employer address them. Most of the time, the employer or you will be able to solve the problem with the worker's health and safety representative or JHSC member. But if you can't agree on how to solve it and the worker still feels the work is unsafe, a Ministry of Labor, Training and Skills Development inspector will be called in to investigate. The general outline of a work refusal process is as follows. Please pause to take a minute and review. It's important to note that supervisors are also workers. So, as a worker, you too may exercise the right to refuse unsafe work in the circumstances specified in the OHSA. While you do have the right to refuse unsafe work, you must keep in mind that some occupations and occupational environments have inherent risks that are a part of the job. For example, nurses, firefighters, police officers, working at construction sites, working in environments with heavy machinery, working at heights, or working in confined spaces. In these occupations, the right to refuse unsafe is limited. Lastly, you should know that under the OHSA, it's against the law for your employer or supervisor to punish you in any way for doing what the OHSA says, or for asking your employer or supervisor to do what the OHSA expects them to do. This is called a reprisal. Workers are protected from reprisals. This means your employer is not allowed to fire or threaten to fire you, suspend or discipline you, or threaten to do so, intimidate or coerce you, including, for example, bullying you or strongly encouraging you not to report, impose any penalty upon you, including, for example, transferring you to another position, shift, or work location, reducing or changing your hours, or denying you a raise or benefits that you're entitled to. That concludes Module 3. Please proceed to Module 4.